So Australia takes the first of two test matches by 10 wickets, defeating the West Indies inside 3 days. Now, we knew going into this series that the West Indies weren't going to beat Australia, but what I wanted to see from them is effort and commitment. But in this test match, I would just simply say they were far, far outplayed. Australia were far too good for them. And the first innings, they got bowled out for 188. Cook McKenzie top scored 50. He played well. And Shamar Joseph basically smashed his way to 36. Played well in that as the last man, really and truly. And Josh Hazelwood and Patrick Cummins were just far too good for this West Indian batsman. For the West Indian batsmen, they just couldn't get going. They got bogged down early o'clock, and yeah, that pretty much was it. They were bowled out in 60 overs. But West Indies did show some sort of fight, and they had Australia at one point at 129 for five, at at 168 for six actually when they got rid of Alex Carey. But credit to Travis Head who played an absolute brilliant knock. But before I talk about Travis Head, let's talk about Shamar Joseph who bowled very well in this match. Joseph bowled well. He bowled with pace. He bowled and was learning on the fly. He reminded me a bit of Kemar Roach when Kemar Roach made his test debut. And I think this young man has the potential for a bright future in West Indies cricket. Bowled well, he bowled with intelligence, and that's what you want to see. He didn't just run up and bowl. You know, in the end, he was a little expensive, but he still managed to pick up 5 wickets. Got Steve Smith off his first delivery. What a wicket! What a wicket to get in your first delivery in Test cricket. But all in all, at the end, the West Indies bowled well. They managed to bowl Australia out for the first time in a very long time, probably since 2009 that they managed to bowl Australia out in a Test match. Um, Normally, Australia tends to pile up runs and declare. West Indies bowled quite well. They really did. And also, they kept the run rate down. It was also a very difficult batting surface. So let's talk about Travis Head's performance. He really took it to the West Indian bowlers. He looked in touch. We know Travis Head is in amazing form right now, but he really, really did defy the pitch and play an absolute brilliant innings. Run a ball innings virtually. So West Indies were behind, and they just got absolutely blown out the pitch. I mean, Chanapur got caught behind off his first ball he faced. Bradford hit the ball straight to the silly mid on. Not silly, sorry, the leg slip fielder. And West Indies at one point in time was 19 for 4. Hazelwood got Athenius caught behind. He got Hodge caught at slip. Um, and it was just downhill from there. McKenzie once again played his shots, looked okay. Um, Greaves as well got a start to say the least. West Indies came into this game. I think Greaves got out of the last delivery of the session, and they managed to avoid losing by innings, giving Australia 25 runs to win. Josh Hazelwood picked up 5 wickets, got his meat is, and narrowly missed out on a 10-4. And Josh Hazelwood, ironically, has not taken 10 wickets in a match in his entire career. He has over 250 wickets and has never taken 10 wickets. So he almost got one again, finished with 9. And of course, Australia managed to win by 10 wickets, although Usman Khawaja got hit by Shamar Joseph with a bouncer. So let's talk about the positives for the West Indies in this match. They bowled well. They bowled Australia out. That's a positive. They managed to bowl Australia out, which they haven't done in the last two tours. In fact, I don't think, in fact, the most wickets they probably took in the last two tours was probably 5 wickets in an innings. So that's a positive. They bowled well. They kept the run rate down, which is the second positive in terms of the bowling. Shamar Joseph is a fantastic bowler. I heard about him in South Africa. A young man, very enthusiastic, and plays with a high level of confidence. Shamar Joseph, even when he batted, sorry, even when he batted, he played with confidence. He went out there with a positive spirit for somebody on Test debut, and he played well. He impressed, really and truly, he did. So he's definitely one for the future. Um, all in all, they bowled well. Now, some now The bowling was good. They dropped a couple catches. The Silver dropped a catch. Graves a bit. No, Cook McKenzie dropped. Who did he drop? He dropped Stark, I believe he did, at one point in the innings. But it didn't really amount to much. Stark got out anyway later on. But they dropped a couple catches, but they fielded rather well. All in all, they bowled well. They bowled well enough. Is the batsman that let them down? The batsman. But then again, is it really the batsman or is it the bowling of Australia? I think Australia's bowling is much stronger than the batting. They've been this bowling lineup has been bowling for over 10 years straight. Four bowlers with over 250 test wickets. It's very, very much a mountainous task for a very weak West Indies team. But credit to them, they did show that they have talent. Cook McKenzie definitely has talent. I know Artenis didn't get going in this match, but he's definitely one for the future as well. He's got a lot of talent. Hodge looked good though. Hodge looked solid. I mean, the guys definitely have the technique, but the biggest issue that we have identified is the inability to get going, and that's where the problems lie. These batsmen got bogged down rather quickly and they folded, and that's not the approach. If you saw Shamar Joseph's innings, you would realize that that was really the approach. Not necessarily smash the ball for fours and sixes, but to be confident in the way you play. These guys can play shots. Go out there and play your shots. Don't just be bogged down and worried about getting dismissed. Positive cricket, because in Test cricket, in order for the bowlers to change their lines and to have the bowlers thinking, you have to be positive. Because what the West Indies basically did in these two innings is allow Australia to bowl to their strengths, and they got them out. They just cleaned them up. What the West Indies need to do in the second Test match is be more positive with their approach. Rotate the strike, any bad deliveries you see fit, and try and turn some good deliveries or decent deliveries into bad deliveries. You know, they got too bogged down and the batsmen got pinned down to the crease, and that's where problems lie. Australia are far too good for that. You have to put away the bad deliveries. Whenever you get them, you have to rotate the strike. So you have to get some good deliveries and rotate the strike. It's as simple as that, you know. But again, it's going to be a very, very tough task, given that Australia are so good, so experienced, so seasoned. So the batsmen have to do better, much, much, much better. Now, in terms of the second Test match, I would probably make one change. Moti will have to come out. I don't think Moti did well in this match at all. Didn't bowl well at all. Wasn't very expensive, but he didn't bowl well. And I'd probably bring in Kevin Sinclair, which means that the West Indies have a little extra batting. And that would actually work for the West Indies. So that's probably the one change I would make to this team for the second Test match. But the batsmen need to be a little bit more positive. But then again, to Australia were far too good for them. And given the fact that they managed to bowl Australia off under um, 300, would suggest that this pitch really was problematic to bat on. You know, so positives. Cook McKenzie looks confident at the crease. He looks solid. I think he should continue at number three. He looks solid in that role. And yeah, these West Indies are still continuing to develop or to produce talented young cricketers. The issue is being able to convert them to the highest level. This was a real baptism of fire that they faced in this match against very, very tough opposition, against one of the best teams in the world. But we're seeing some positives, man. So again, this is a tough series for them, and hopefully they can go into the second Test match in about a week's time and try and see if they could, show more and play more positive cricket. And as for Australia, there's not much really to talk about. I would just simply say that I think Australia is there for the taking. And what I mean by that is, I think a team could come into Australia and beat them. Pakistan had Australia reeling in the last series. Even though Australia won this series, Pakistan had them reeling, and yet again they were reeling against the West Indies. So I think this Australian team might be there for the taking for some of the bigger teams. Maybe a India or possibly a New Zealand. I think they're there for the taking now. I think that it's time to slow down and regress a bit And yeah, the bowling attack will still get them out of problems, but you know, against this West Indies bowling attack, yes, the pitch did assist, but to be 122 for 5, 168 for 6, nah. I didn't expect that from Australia, to be honest with you. But and if Travis Head didn't play that innings, they would have gotten bowled for much less. So nobody else crossed. Well, Kawaja got 45, but nobody else crossed 30. So that just goes to show. I think Australia there for the taking for one of the tough teams. West Indies, I don't think they have enough to take Australia out. But one of the other big teams, and considering Pakistan almost did had they took their catches, Pakistan should have won at least one of those test matches earlier on. But yeah, Australia, yeah, they have a bowling attack that can get them out of problems and could mask some of the issues that they're having. So yeah, all right. So that was the first test match. So let me know what you guys think about the video in the comment section below. I'm out.